Alright guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a weapon from a category of weapons that really doesn't get too much love here on the channel, and we're going to be taking a look at the DG58 LMG. I'm not going to lie to you guys, this thing is incredibly powerful. It can actually be compared to weapons like the FR Advancer. It's putting out almost the same damage. Now, as good as this gun is, it does suffer a little bit of a con, which we will get into in the video. We're also going to be completing the Season 5 Dark Aether today. This gun definitely is incredible, and I'm glad I came back to try it out here today. We definitely came out of this run with some incredible loot, but with that, welcome back to the channel, everybody. If y'all don't know, my name is Ghost. Appreciate everybody that stops by the video today. If you're into zombies content or anything Call of Duty, knock the hell out of that like button for me and subscribe to the channel, guys. We just hit 23,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all the crazy love and support. We're already on the road to 24, and you guys are just surprising the hell out of me. I cannot thank you guys enough. Before we jump into this loadout real quick, did you guys see what I ended up pulling out of that tier 2 Easter egg? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been liking doing these tier 2 triangle Easter eggs. They've been giving me really good stuff lately. If you don't know, these Easter eggs work just like the other triangle Easter eggs that we first had in the red tier zone. If you guys still need to know where these are at, I'm going to throw up a map up on the screen right here, which is going to show you where all of those triangle Easter eggs are at. I'm definitely kind of glad that somebody ended up reminding me about this DG58, because this gun in Modern Warfare Zombies is an absolute monster. It's just got some incredible power, and it does allow you to put those incendiary bullets on there, so you're going to be able to do a little bit more damage with this thing. You can rock any ammo mod that you like. I would recommend putting on Napalm Burst though, just to give you a little bit more fire damage. Now, if you do have a mega holding to throw on this guy, with this particular loadout, you're going to be sitting on 600 rounds. Now, if you don't have the mega holding, I would recommend throwing on that largest mag. After pack-a-punching, you're going to be sitting on 200 rounds before you have to reload, so definitely not bad at all. And this thing really is great. I mean, it has no problem hanging out inside of the red tier zone, taking care of HVTs or mega abominations. As long as you got yourself either an epic or a legendary ether tool, and this thing is pack-a-punched up to level 3, you're pretty much going to be able to take care of anything that you need to. Now, it's decent for solo players, but I mean, I think it would actually be even better for people that are running in more of a squad. Being a solo player, I like my weapons to be a little bit more snappy and have a little bit more mobility, and that's where we'll kind of get into the cons, I think, of this weapon. While the damage is absolutely amazing and it is a great weapon to use, my biggest downfall I think that it is with it is that it just simply is an LMG, which just makes it a really heavy gun. Now, I will admit, for being an LMG, it does feel like it's on a little bit of the lighter side. It's still heavier than most of the ARs and SMGs, and you're just going to be feeling a bit slower with this thing. Even when you try to strictly build it out for like mobility and snappiness, it's still just going to feel overall a little bit slower than some of your other options. When you got something else out there like the FR Advancer, which is basically doing the same exact damage as this thing, it's got a bit better mobility and handling. I mean, I think more people are going to lean towards using that. And then even like myself, I like the FJX even more than the FR Advancer or this thing. Even though it's not as powerful as either of these weapons, I think that the mobility plus the power that it does have more than makes up for it. I would even go as far as to say guns like the Renetti or the WSP Stinger, like I think those are even probably better than this DG, just because they're quick, they're snappy, and the power that they have is literally right there. Kind of the same problem that I have with like the Reclaimer shotgun. Like, I do love how powerful that it is. It'll take down mega abominations and things really fast, but at the same time, the fire rate on it is just incredibly slow. It's really heavy for a shotgun, and it's kind of hard to take out large hordes of enemies with just how slow the fire rate is. It's an excellent weapon for the damage that it puts out. I just think that those few things are what's going to be holding it back a bit. And you can kind of apply the same logic to this DG58 here. Now, this doesn't go to say that it's a bad weapon at all. I think, like I said earlier, this is still one of the hands down best weapons to use in the game. I think just for solo players, there's some better options out there. Honestly, if you guys haven't tried this thing yet, or I mean, if you just want to try something new, this is definitely one that is worth trying out. I think you guys will definitely have a good time with this one. I mean, especially if you guys are rolling with a squad of people. There's definitely certain guns in this game I think that are better suited for like squads of people. Like, I don't think solo players should ever really be running with like the crossbow with explosive bolts. It's not gonna do very good for you in certain situations. If you're running in a team with people and you all are running different stuff and you're doing things like escort missions and things like that, having somebody that has the crossbow will definitely help your team out a lot. I figured since in the last video we ended up doing the original Dark Aether, I figured we would go to the complete other opposite side, and this time we would end up doing the Season 5 Dark Aether, which I'm pretty glad that we ended up coming in here. We came out with some pretty damn good loot. Now, the one thing I really like about this Dark Aether as well, it's kind of like the second Dark Aether that we got, where you can actually find any of the classified acquisitions by coming in here. I think after all this time, like the Season 2 Dark Aether and Season 5 are definitely becoming my favorites, just because you can end up farming anything out of these. I also really like that locked room in Season 5 with the guaranteed, like all of the Ethereum crystals, plus the blueprint and the guaranteed Scorcher case. That's just, oh, that's so good. Season 2 is also my favorite just because I think it's easiest for solo players players, and it's also, I think, best for testing out weapons because you get an HVT in there, plus you get a holdout mission, so both pretty good contracts for testing out weapons. And now that Modern Warfare Zombies is actually at the end of its life cycle and we've had a little bit of time to, you know, play throughout all of these Dark Aethers, I kind of want to know what you guys think about these and which one is your favorite down in the comments section. Now, when I think about this DG58 and I think about maybe putting it on my top 5 best weapons to use list, it's one of those that, like, I really want to put it there, but there's just, like I said earlier, so many other better options that I think are viable to use that could actually benefit players a little bit more than just having the sheer damage power of this thing. I think if it was to make the list, at least here in Season 6, it would probably be sitting at number 5 for me. But we'll have to wait and see. I've been trying to make a lot of runs over the last couple of days, just trying out a bunch of different weapons here. Like I mentioned earlier, would I recommend that you guys try this one out? I mean, especially if you just want to try something new or just use something fun, definitely, absolutely. Also, I did notice a comment in one of my previous videos of somebody asking me where the contracts are inside of this Dark Aether, so I'm gonna actually throw another map on the screen right here, which is gonna show you where everything is inside of this Dark Aether. Big shout out to wzhub.gg. They're the ones that put together all of these interactive maps, and not only do they do maps for zombies and like the Dark Aethers and the main map, but they also do maps for Warzone if you're into that. Now, I know it probably sounds like I just kind of dogged on this rifle a little bit while I was using it, but it's actually a really good gun to use. As you guys can see here, it let me solo one of the hardest Dark Aethers in the game. We ended up coming out of here with some amazing loot, and did you see how many damn hellhounds there were at the top of this tower? Like, oh, I don't know what the hell happened, but I greatly do appreciate everybody that took the time out of their day to watch the video. It truly does mean the world to me. I'm gonna toss up that loadout up on the screen right here. Be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if anybody is new. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.